Okay, right then. So if you take a laying position on your mat, lay down however is comfortable for you. You can have your knees bent or you can have them stretched out. And just listen to my vocal cues for this class today. Look at the screen if you need to, but really just try and listen to my voice and allow me to direct your body into the right positions. And what this is going to do is encourage you to come out of your head and really connect on a deeper level to your body. And really, it doesn't matter what the shapes look like. It's about that feeling, connecting, relaxing, and just enjoying being present, whilst obviously getting a really nice stretch. So just let go of any need to be perfect, to do anything specific, and just relax and enjoy the moment. So just start connecting into your body and scanning from the top of your head all the way down to your feet. And just notice what you're feeling in your body today, where you're feeling it. Whether it's anger, anxiety, fear. Sometimes the fear is the underlying feeling, or the sense of being out of control is definitely something that is rising at the moment. That lack of freedom leaves us to feel like we're not in control of anything. And really our freedom is found completely in the mind. So just scanning down the body, noticing how the tummy's feeling. How the hips are feeling. Maybe just notice any tension that you're holding in the jaw. And we're just going to start by squeezing the face as tight as you can. So I want you to wrinkle the face up really, really tight. Screw up the mouth, screw up the eyes as tight as you can, and then release. And then again, screw up the face as tight as you can and release. And again, screw up the face as tight as you can, make it a bit tighter this time, and release. And then I want you to open the mouth as wide as you can. So really find a wide mouth, wide jaw, stretch it out. It doesn't matter if you look silly, no one can see you. Open your mouth as wide as you can. Big, wide stretch, and then release the jaw. And then do it again, big, wide stretch. And I've been doing these face stretches for the last few weeks, and it's amazing how much tension we actually hold in the face. So open it really wide, and then release again. And we're going to do one more time, big, wide, wide mouth. Maybe you can stick the tongue out, and then relax. And I just want you to pick the head up with your hands and just pull it away from the body and then place it back down on the floor. As if I've come up behind you. If any of you have done my in-person classes, sometimes I come up behind you and just pull up gently through the head, lengthening the neck. And then just start to have an awareness of your breath. How is the breath moving in and out of the body today? Is your chest rising and falling? with the belly rising or falling. Maybe you notice that that air kind of, the breath stops in the chest rather than moving down into the belly. Now start to expand the belly a little bit more, taking a deeper breath in. Notice the air passing through the nose. And then maybe taking a breath in and just a sigh out. When we take that sigh out, what actually happens is we release muscles even all the way down to where our pelvic floor is. So let's do it again. Breath in, sigh out. And we're going to do it one more time. I want you to find that awareness, a softening in the body within you. Take a big breath in, fill up the belly, sigh out. And then just feeling down the lips. I want you to work on keeping the mouth closed throughout your practice this evening and just breathing in and out through the nose. With a real focus on breath as you're moving between postures and as you are holding posture. So yoga is movement with breath, and that's what gives it its meditative quality and what calms down the nervous system to allow you to find a more peaceful sense of being. So I want you to stay with that breath for a moment, really feeling the inhales and the exhales. And just notice the softening and the melting of the body on every exhale. Notice the body sinks heavier into the mat. Try and unclench the jaw if you started to clench it again. And see if you can relax the hips and glutes a little bit more. So sometimes even just resting on the floor, we're holding a subtle amount of tension in the body. So with every exhale, I want you to really visualize, like a melted chocolate or marshmallow, that softening of the body, as if the bones melt away and the tendons are as stretchy, as warm blue tack. As if the muscles soften because they don't need to hold onto any shape. And I want you to visualize now this white beam of light connecting us all through whatever device you're doing this class through, and that transmutes through time and space. So regardless of whether you watch this back, that paradigm doesn't exist. You can connect to this white light, this energy coming through the screen. I want you to visualize it like this tunnel wrapping your whole body, starting from the head, coming all the way down the body, tucking underneath shoulders and spine, tucking underneath the bottom, hips, backs of legs, calves, ankles, and wrapping over toes and ankles, shins, over thighs, pelvic bone, hips, abdominals, chest, throat, shoulders, face, cocooning you in this big bubble of white light. And you can maybe feel this subtle vibration underneath the body. We are all vibrations, we're cells that vibrate. So if you have a real awareness, you might even notice this subtle vibration between you and the floor. And maybe even between you and I. And whilst you're cocooned in this bubble, soft as soft can be, I want you to visualize this waterfall of blue and white crystalline light coming down from the highest point in the universe you can imagine. And it's pouring over your body. And it wraps all around you and it filters through every cell. And this lovely blue light is wrapping around that white cocoon. Cutting any connections with stories you tell yourself, connections to news, to people that trigger you to anxieties and feelings. Cutting those cords, releasing connections, cutting them on a historic level, allowing you to process anything you need to and clearing them in the present and future. I want you to start to have an awareness in your body of where you might be feeling any particular connection to. So it may be in the tummy area or the hips. And definitely all day today have been feeling that we need to focus on the sacral chakra, so into the hip area and also the heart. So if you're feeling anything in those areas, anxiety, tension, I want you to visualize literally this cord being cut and falling to the floor. You may need to visualize that a few times, falling away from the body. And then this white beam of light coming in and just sealing those areas for you. And staying really connected to that breath. I'm going to start to move into some asanas for the practice today. So I want you to just gently hug your knees into your body. Give yourself a hug. Hugging the knees in, maybe rolling side to side if that's what feels good to you. Or backwards and forwards. Or maybe even placing hands on top of knees and rolling the knees out and away from the body as if you were doing breaststroke legs. And by doing that, you start to massage the lower part of the spine, releasing the lower back. Do what feels good to you. You may have pricking. Definitely got some clicking going on in my lower spine. Just allow that to release. And then placing the feet down on the floor. I want you to drop the knees out to either side, bringing the soles of the feet together. Coming into reclining Buddha Konasana. So the knees drop out to the side away from each other, opening up the front of the hip. And from here, I want you to just lift up the chin a little bit so we're opening up the throat cavity. And then just staying with that breath, deep inhale and exhale. Really notice how the belly inflates as you breathe in. I want you to visualize staying in that cocoon of white and blue light, and also really connecting down to the earth. So almost imagine you're on the grass or maybe the sand, taking yourself off to a favorite calming place. Maybe feeling the grass under your fingertips. Maybe hearing the sea and feeling the sand if you're on the beach. And then as you start to breathe in, I want you to visualize drawing up this energy from the earth, as if you were in a seated position, the base of the spine connected with the floor, drawing the energy all the way up and through the body, passing through the sacral chakra above the pelvic bone, solar plexus in the tummy, heart in the center of the chest, throat in the middle of the throat, third eye between the eyebrows, and crown chakra at the top of the head. And I want you to visualize drawing this energy up with every inhale, passing up through the body, taking a really long breath in, and then just a slight pause at the top. So pausing that breath, holding just for a couple of seconds, before allowing that breath to exhale very slowly through the nose, and visualizing that exhale is like the energy passing back down through the front of the body. And so with your inhale, you pass up from the base of the spine, up through the back of the body, all the way up to the crown. Hold the breath at the top of the head for a few moments. 1, 2, and then exhale down the front of the body. So we're creating this loop, this circle of breath. I want you to stay with that breath. Drawing energy up through the base of the spine. All the way up to the top of the head. Pause for a couple of moments. Almost imagine that energy passing out through the top of the head before releasing the breath with a gentle exhale through the nose and allowing that air to filter down through the front of the body, keeping that cyclical loop. And what we're doing here is deeply grounding into the earth. And when we're grounded, we can make more rational decisions and we feel calmer and less stressed. And this is just one way of grounding. It's also a really amazing way to be bringing up the essential energy up through the body. We start to activate that Kundalini energy in the base of the spine. So you might like to envision drawing this spiral up through the spine as you inhale. That might be a good visual for you. Bringing that energy up to the crown of the head. Maybe imagining it opening up like a lotus flower as you inhale. And then as you exhale, allowing that energy to pass down the front of the body. We're just going to stay here for longer, allowing the hips to release. And if you're finding that the front of the hips is really tense, you can take your feet further away from the body. And the most important thing with a yin practice is stillness. So there may be times we are going to do some slightly juicier stretches where you feel like you want to escape from the pose, and I want you to go deeper into the breath. Deeper inhale, deeper exhale. Remember, as I said at the beginning, that exhale is when we soften and release. So with every exhale, allow the hips to open up. Allow the knees to soften down towards the floor. The closer to your bottom, the more challenging the stretch is. The further the feet away, the easier. Keep focusing on that cyclical breath pattern. Maybe that spiral was a good visual for you. With this position, we're literally focusing on every single chakra in the body. We've opened up that throat. So if you feel like any energy is shifting, if you're particularly in tune with your body, and you feel inclined to take a wide mouth exhale, you can feel free to do that anytime. Just allowing that throat to be open. Anything that's coming up from roots, so your I am chakra, and the sacral is your I feel, so linked with lots of emotions, feeling sensual energy, sexual energy, creativity, lots of feeling and emotion held in the hip area. You might feel that shifting. And then passing up through solar plexus, your I can, personal power, very challenged right now. Definitely calmer than it was a few weeks ago. In a lot of people, I'm sensing that's not where we're focusing today. And then in the heart chakra, just coming back to love and stepping away from fear. And the throat is about being heard and being seen for who you really are. Third eye is your inner sat nav, that GPS, your psychic ability, inner knowing, that I just knew that feeling. Crown, connection to higher self. So just taking a last few breaths with this really all-encompassing posture here. Last few releases, surrendering, softening into the floor. Take one last breath in here. And as you exhale, keeping that chin lifted, take a big wide mouth exhale, releasing anything you feel you're holding on to. So big breath in. I want you to visualize this vortex above the body and this connection that we have that transcends time and space, and just being released into that vortex and being taken away. Good, lovely shift there. And again, let's take one more of those before we move on. Big exhale. Allow that to transcend time and space. Release into the vortex above you. Big breath in, exhale. Good. And then placing hands underneath your knees. Gently bring the knees up to center. And I want you to take your left leg over your right knee and cross your legs as if you were sitting cross-legged at a table. So knees are really closely touching each other. Take your arms out into a T shape. Or if you haven't quite got the room for a T shape, stretch them out and then bring the hands up above the elbows so the backs of the hands are resting on the floor. Take a big breath in here, and then as you exhale, drop the knees down to the side, coming into a twist. So we're dropping down into a supinated twist. right leg over left, knees together, dropping down to the left hand side. You may feel a big release through the spine here. You might feel like you need to lift up the shoulders and place them back down on the floor again. And then I want you to take a breath in, and as you exhale, look the opposite direction to your knees. You may notice that that deepens the stretch through the hip. So we're just focusing on this release through the lower back, but also an opening through the chest. So you might find if you are particularly tight in the chest and shoulder area, that your hands slightly lift up off the floor. If you do that, either stretch the hands out into a T shape instead of a cactus position, which is hands stacked above elbows, or you can rest your hands on a pillow or a cushion or a bolster that you might have nearby. And I want you to stay here and breathe into the side of the body where you feel this deep stretch. Just stay with that closed mouth breath, breathing in and out through the nose. Notice the stretch through the side of the body. Notice the expansion of the rib cage and that deeper stretch through the hip as you start to soften and surrender into the mat. So maybe your IT bands, the muscle that runs down from the side of the hip, down through the side of the thigh, down towards the knee, often very tight. You may be feeling it here. You may be feeling it in the lower back, into the chest. Everybody's going to be totally different. I want you to just visualize any of those areas of tightness softening and melting. You're going to stay in this position. And as with these sessions we've been developing online, I'm just channeling more and more, and I'm just being given the solar plexus symbol. So we're just going to work here for a while. Solar plexus is just above the belly button and under the bust, represented by the colour yellow with a red edging. And it's kind of got these like flower petals around the outside. I'm just going to be putting some Reiki symbols into those areas of your body now. And again, come into the notion that we transcend time and space when we're working with distance Reiki. I want you to visualize this kind of yellow colour in that centre of the body, expanding like the sun. It's like your inner fire, your courage, your grit, your gut, that gut instinct. When we talk about, just feeling it in the gut, what we're feeling is that energy centre of the solar plexus. When we feel anxious and stressed, it often disrupts IBS symptoms, Crohn's, IBD. Often those symptoms for those diseases are aggravated at times of stress and anxiety. I want you to just imagine that this soothing balm is being placed along the solar plexus now, like the most calming connection into the tummy. You may feel warmth, you may feel sharp pain, your tummy may grumble. I want you to just keep breathing with every inhale. Deep breath in, allow the belly to expand. And with every exhale, allow anything you're holding on to with stress and anxiety to just be released. Release and let it go into that vortex. It's also the place that our ego exists. In part, it's responsible for those thoughts that jump in that aren't necessarily a true reflection of who we are. They come from fear-based thinking. Big breath in, allow any fears to be released and allow the heart space to really filter in, to allow this green energy from heart chakras coming in at the same time as we're releasing from solar plexus with this really deep compassion. Finding this love for yourself, and if love is too much, and it's a really strong word, sometimes just self-respect, understanding your boundaries and having compassion for yourself to enforce those boundaries. No guilt, no fear of other people's judgment of yourself. I'm just going to take a few more breaths here. Filling up that belly space. And just imagining any connections you have with other people that trigger those fear-based thoughts, anxieties, strains, stresses. When the ego jumps in and takes over, I want you to imagine those cords being cut. And a white light coming in with that soothing balm, just coming into solar plexus. Soothing the tummy, soothing intestines. Reducing any inflammation, any bloating, food reactions. And just gently placing one hand underneath your knees. I want you to take a breath in, and as you exhale, draw the knees up to the center. We're literally going to go straight in to the other side. So this time, I think I've got this right, we're going to take right over left. I always get confused because I'm mirroring you. Right over left, so whichever leg you just did, switch sides, bring the knees closer together. Bring them so they're really tight. Take a breath in, arms come out to the side or in that cactus position and stacked above elbows back on the floor. Take a breath in. As you exhale, allow knees to drop down to the side. You may need to pick up the shoulders and place them back down again. Take another breath in, and as you exhale, look the opposite direction to your knees and just allow the gravity to pull the knees down towards the floor. Maybe finding that deep stretch through the lower back, through the hips and glutes, maybe into the thigh, running down the IT band towards the knee. As you breathe in, feel the expansion of the rib cage. And bringing that energy back into solar plexus. Breathing into the belly, softening, surrendering with every exhale. Staying with the breath. We're just going to finish this work on solar plexus whilst you're stretching lower back. Continue that breath to inhale. As you fill up the lungs, the intercostal muscles between each rib are going to stretch, creating more space for your lungs. And breathing in through the nose, directing that air all the way down to the belly, deepening that stretch with all those little muscles and tendons and ligaments. And with these deep inhales and exhales, you're also working the diaphragm and the pelvic floor. Bringing that life to those muscles, making them work a little bit harder. So those deep breaths, allowing the diaphragm to stretch out a little bit more, dropping down towards the belly. Softening on every exhale. I just need to give you this shape, which is a Merkaba. Like I said, I'm channeling a lot of these sessions now. A Merkaba is like two upside down, three-dimensional triangles. So if you imagine two pyramids, and they're locked one within the other, creating the star shape. And one spins clockwise and one spins anti-clockwise. I want you to visualize that shape coming in, shrouded in this bright yellow and orangey coloured lights with green mixed into it. And imagine that shape coming into the solar plexus, bringing really deep healing here. I know this is going to sound really woo-woo to some of you, but just bringing in angelic healing, helping to calm your body. They're working so closely with everybody right now. Just asking Metatron to step in. Take a big breath in and a big wide mouth exhale. And imagine a spiral coming out through your tummy. This yellowy coloured spiral, helping balance and calm with that Merkaba, with that angelic energy coming through. And it's a really joyous, happy energy. So we're really replacing any of that heavy feeling with this really lovely, joyous lightness. Now is the time to recondition your thoughts. Establish what you want from life moving forward. What are you learning right now? When we step out of fear, we can work out what we need to move forwards. Stay with that breath, deeply inhaling and exhaling a little bit more. Just being given the word acceptance now, just before we move on. Deep acceptance and acknowledgement for where we are right now. Let's take a big breath in, big exhale out. Gently drawing up the knees towards the center. I want you to roll over onto your side and then gently come up onto all fours. From here, and I promise we're not going to stay in plank, we're going to come up into a plank position. So extend the legs out behind you, hands under shoulders, knees are under, feet under. They're not. Your legs are extended behind you, feet on the floor, hands under shoulders. I want you to take your right leg in front of you. We're going to come into what's known as pigeon pose. So the right leg comes in front and the foot extends out to the side. I'm going to turn around just in case you need to do this. In case you need to do this. So the foot comes in front of the body. Across the front, and it doesn't have to be at a 90-degree angle. That's it, well done. Just be gentle on the knees. If it's too much on the knees, just tuck the foot closer into the pelvic bone. And I want you to extend the other leg out behind you. Just come up onto the tiptoes behind you and just use it to draw the leg backwards a little bit further. And then I want you to lead with your chest. Imagine that you're stretching your chest as far forward as you can towards the floor, and then come down onto your elbows. Good. I'm just going to check in on you in a moment. Good. And then just connect back into the breath. Big breath in. Good. Lovely. Now just untuck the toes. That's it. You should be feeling it right into the glutes. Well done, Becca. So untuck the toes. That's it. Lay the top of the foot on the floor. Good. And just try and relax into it. Just notice if your body's drifting off to one side or not. Try and find the center. Your body will always want to find the easiest path. So this is quite a deep, juicy hip stretch. So where you want to fidget, I want you to resist that urge by taking deeper breaths in, filling up the belly, and then really surrendering all the way down to your mat. Really soften. Good. Deep breath in, deep exhale. That's it. Well done. Stay with the breath. Deep breath in, deep exhale. And whilst you're in this position, I want you to really feel how the air expands through the back of the body. So the breath, as you breathe in, the lungs are really expanding through the back of the body, and then feel the belly, how it drops down towards the floor. So you've got this three-dimensional breath. Deep breath in, deep exhale. And then really think about melting those hips into the floor. We're not going to stay in this pose an awful long time. Just focus on that breath, that release. And then gently easing back up onto your hands. Tuck the back toes, lifting up the knee off the floor, pushing into the hands, come up into a plank position to send that front leg back. Good. And then we're going to take a breath in here, and as we exhale, we're going to bring the other leg across. So come straight into the other side. And you'll really notice how one side feels very different from the other. And that's really normal. So just again, notice where you are shifting your weight in the body. So like I said before, the body wants to make this easy for us. So you may drift off towards the butt cheek. If that's the case, I want you to wiggle back to center. And then choosing your back foot, tuck the toes underneath you and ease yourself back a little bit more to deepen the stretch. Untuck the back toes, putting the top of the foot onto your mat. And then leading with the chest, I want you to ease your way forward. So lead with the chest rather than collapse through the spine. Imagine the chest coming really far forwards and then coming down onto the elbows. And just release the head towards the floor. And start to really breathe into the back of the body. Notice that deep stretch through the back of the hip into the glutes. So really focusing on that sacral chakra, like we did at the beginning. That deep seat of emotion, connection to our feelings. And stay with that breath. Deep inhale into the back of the body. Soften and release. Softening a bit more, releasing through the glutes, the lower back and the hips. If you feel any shifts in emotion come up, just allow them to come up for release. And sometimes that may be laughter or tears. Just the guidance that's coming through this evening is just that when we can release and let go of these expectations, we connect into our feelings of what we need right now. No ego, no fear, no self-judgment. We can actually come back to love. We can come back to connecting to the heart and allowing that to be our navigation moving forward in such uncertain times. Just take a last couple of breaths here. And gently ease up onto your elbows. Tuck the back toes, lift up the back knee and come back into plank, and then drop the knees down onto the mat. Just come up to a kneeling position facing me. I hope you're all okay and still with me. I'm aware that I'm probably running over because I usually do. Apologies for that. If you need to press play on your music again, do. We're just going to do a last little neck stretch before we go into Savasana. So either on your knees or seated on your bottom, whatever feels more comfortable. Or you should take your right hand out to the side, extend it towards the end of the mat. And take a breath in and drop the left ear to left shoulder. And then take the left hand onto the top of the head and just draw the ear down towards the shoulder. So just any last remaining tension that you may have stored in neck and shoulders. And then just keeping this stretch, drop the chin ever so slightly forwards. Just stretching into the neck. I think we did this on Monday. Into the sternocleidomastoid. I can't help but say that is my favourite word. Also really releasing into throat chakra, which isn't just situated as a small energy centre in the front of the throat. It literally is going to radiate through the whole of the neck. And then maybe just walk this extended hand back a little bit. You might notice a stretch down the front of the arm, a deeper stretch into the neck. And then gently release. And use this hand to push the head back up to centre. Taking left hand out to the side, right hand over the head. Just drop it down to the side. Find that gentle neck stretch. Just go easy to begin with. Big breath in, extend that hand out to the side and drop the head down towards the shoulder. So right ear to shoulder. And again, one side might feel slightly juicier than the other. Take a big breath in here and then just drop that chin ever so slightly forwards. So almost looking down towards your thigh. And then taking this left hand, walking the fingertips back a little bit further. Good. Gently release hands. Use the hand to push the head back up to center. Take a breath in and drop chin to chest. Stay with the breath, breathe into the back of the neck. And then just taking the hands, linking the fingers and placing them on the back of the head. Pull the elbows back and then just allow the hands to place a little bit of pressure on the back of the head here. And what we're doing is releasing this nerve that runs down through the back, releasing the back of the neck. Good. Then draw those elbows forwards. Allow the chin to tuck in a little bit more. And then gently release the hands. When you're ready, come down onto your back. If you want to, you can put your music onto the very last track on the playlist, entirely your choice. And then just extend the legs out in front of you, palms facing up towards the ceiling, thighs rolling out towards the edge of the mat, feet rolling out towards the edge of the mat. Just maybe lift the shoulders up and allow them to drop back down to the floor. Feel that connection with the floor, with the earth, just like you did at the beginning of session. And now just releasing breath into normal breathing patterns. So no more forced breath or yogic breath. Just natural, easeful breathing. Find yourself being heavy on the mat. Deep breath into the belly and a big exhale. Release any last tension there. Imagine that softening of the feet and the toes, the hands, hips, knees and thighs, chest and shoulders melting into the mat. Softness through the face, through the jaw, through the temples and the eyes. Just allow the eyes to softly sit back into the head. Release the tension in the hands. Just take a last moment of stillness in this practice today. I just want you to visualize this connection now, drawing back between us. So taking this connection, my energy coming back into my body, freeing up that white light connection, but leaving you feeling very peaceful and calm. Just gently start to wiggle your fingers and toes. And then roll over to your right hand side. And then when you're ready, come up to a seated position that's good for you. Let's take a breath in, raise arms up towards the ceiling. Visualize bringing your soul back into your body. And again, big breath in, raise arms up, and just bring your energy back into your body. One more time. And then bring hands into prayer position or Anjali Mudra and down to heart center. Thank you for sharing your practice with me today. Namaste. I forgot to say, let's find something you're grateful for. So just take a moment to find that gratitude before finishing.